Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Welcome to another daily devotion. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. Go ahead and like my live, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share it to the last 5 friends that you text because you never know who may need what it is that I have to say. So, how has y'all weekend been? How has y'all weekend been? I must say my day has been pretty eventful, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? Because I will not let the devil ever think that he won, okay? I made a post today. I made a post today on Facebook, and I said, I believe people forgot who my God is. The one and only, okay? The God of the universe, the Father of Jesus Christ. And one thing I do know is he don't play about me, okay? He don't play about me. And I'm going to leave it where it's at because I've already given it to him, okay? I've already given it over to the Lord. What that song is? This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. I don't know about y'all, but I go into worship. This is how I fight my battles. Okay. This is how I fight my battles. So I have been in worship today. I have been praying and worshiping basically all day. All day. And I have been preparing for a speaking engagement that I have coming up this Saturday. And I had a speech written. But now, today, the Lord has taken me another way. So now I have to redo my speech to see. It's another message God want me to give out. It's a message I thought I had, and God was like, scratch it. Something else. So as I was in worship today, because I was fighting my battle, I don't know about y'all, but when something happens to me, I made a vow to God that before I worry, I'm going to go into worship, okay? So that's what I did today. I went into worship. And as I went into worship, God said, scratch that. We need to go here. So if you have not gotten your ticket for this Saturday for the event that I have on Saturday, you need to go ahead and do that. Matter of fact, when I get off live, I'm going to go ahead and post the flyer so that those of you who have not gotten your tickets yet, that y'all can go ahead and get your tickets for this Saturday. And it's for the whole family. It's not just for adults. It is for the entire family. So let's go ahead and get into the topic at hand. Our daily devotion title today is, Why Can't We Work Together? And it's coming from 3 John verse 9. Diotrephes, who loves to be his preeminence. Yeah, I don't read these ahead of time. Oh, I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I did not read these ahead of time. But let's go ahead and get into it. Reason 1 of why we can't work together. Insecurities. The Florentine philosopher Machiavelli said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Insecure leaders are threatened by talented individuals, so they surround themselves with weak people. As a result, the work suffers and everybody involved suffers too. When a leader responds to a genuine question by saying, "How dare you challenge my authority?" I'm sorry, y'all. Having a flashback. "How dare you challenge my authority?" They're dangerous and often not worth following. Insecure leaders usually fail for 2 reasons. They want to maintain control over everything, or they're afraid of being replaced by someone more competent. Either way, leaders who don't encourage teamwork weaken their own potential and discourage those around them. President Woodrow Wilson said, "We should not only use all of the brains we have, but all that we can borrow." John the Apostle tells us that Diotrephes, a leader in the church, loves to have the preeminence. What was the man's problem? He wanted to blow everybody else's light out in order for his own light to shine. So John writes, "When I come, I will report some of the things he is doing and the evil accusations he is making against us. Not only does he refuse to welcome the traveling teachers, he also tells others not to help them. And when they do help, he puts them out of the church. Dear friend, don't let this bad example influence you. Follow only what is good. Remember that those who do good prove that they are God's children, and those who do evil that they do not know God." 3 John verse 10 through 11. Let God's approval, which you already have, make you secure. Why we can't work together. So one reason why we can't work together is because insecure. Y'all, this is a 4-part series that we will be going over for the next couple days of why we can't work together. And it says reason 1, insecurities. Have y'all had that boss that asks you, "How dare you challenge my authority?" I must say, I have been the employee who always questioned things, because I always felt if we have a problem in the workplace and everybody is talking about it, like this employee talking about it, this employee talking about it, but when we have meetings, nobody is mentioning it in the meetings. But then as soon as the meeting over, everybody want to talk about the problem. So, Sallie, me being me, I always bring it up. And then everybody looking at me like, "Sallie, I know you ain't say that. Sallie, why would you?" Because we already talked about it. They need to know. But I must say, I think sometimes it was my tone. That I'm getting better. But previously, no, the not fully saved Sallie didn't always come correctly to the boss, I guess you could say. Um, I have had a boss that asks, "How dare you challenge my authority?" Working the job I was working at previously, not the law firm I was at, but the job I was at before the law firm. I got that because it's like in HR, when I was working in HR, it's like if a manager had a problem with you, they come straight to you, or they send an email. Um, they send an email to you and they feel like they can talk to you any kind of way. But Sallie wasn't the one. Even though I guess they were higher up than me. It wasn't an HR manager that that I would get into it with. It was always the floor managers, other people who was working on the floor that I would always butt heads with because they the way they did stuff, and then I'd be like, why? And then they looking at me like I can't ask the question why. And I don't like that. That's why I'm not there. That's why I'm not there. The Lord knew. The Lord knew that I was not supposed to be at that job. I was only supposed to be there for a season. And I was trying to make it for a long time. How many of y'all have done that? Me and one of my friends was talking about this the other day of how God will remind you of what you say or remind you of what he told you or what you prayed for. He'll remind you. I had my last two jobs, actually. My last two jobs was supposed to be temporary. Like the second to the last job, I you know how you need a job, so you just go work a job. It wasn't even in my field. And so I went and started working it, right? And then I started working on my master's. And while I'm working on my master's, I end up getting into the HR. I end up getting promoted to HR, right? So now I'm working in HR, and I'm gonna change my major. Like I was getting my MBA, but I changed my MBA with a emphasis in HR management. So I'm changing my degree because I'm like, oh, okay, I like HR. Okay, I'm a move up, through the ranks. Okay, because my manager at the time was already like, Sallie, why are you here? Because my job got a paralegal background. No, I'm like, I need a job, so I had to come here because I need a job. So my floor manager helped me get into HR because he was like, you overqualified. Why is your behind out here working on an assembly line? Because I needed a job. So worked in HR for, I don't know, close to a year. Close to a year. Some things happened out of it's like HR blew up. Like it just had a bomb dropped in it, and it just was a lot of chaos, and a lot of people were leaving. And just so happened our HR manager left. And the promises that were made before he left, people didn't keep. And I was trying to be somewhere I was no longer supposed to be. And then one day God said, don't you apply? Like I was trying to apply for another job, like a higher ranking job. And after I had first, okay, I got sent back to the floor. And then my position came open. Now, I don't even want to go into detail about that because it's crazy what happened. But let's just say I worked the job for almost a year, was supposed to be hired permanently, didn't happen because they kept switching up the process on me. Keep telling me, oh, you don't have to. We're just going to bring you straight in because we already know you can do the work. Then I ended up interviewing for the job, didn't get the job, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Y'all know I can do this. I'm going to just go up a step further because, I mean, I'm already overqualified for the position I already had. So let me just go up a little higher. And I am getting my master's in human resource management. Let me go ahead and just apply up, right? When I had 2 interviews, y'all, and with both interviews, you have worked with both of the managers. They know your work ethic. They know you get the job done, and they still don't choose you. And when they give you a reason why they don't choose you, you know it's bogus. You know you're not supposed to be there no more. And that's what happened. And then after that, God said, don't you apply for another thing. Because I was trying to stay somewhere that I wasn't supposed to be. And as soon as God said, don't apply to nothing else, and I didn't. I got a call to go back into my field as a paralegal. I mean, as soon as I stopped applying to get a promotion at this one job where I wasn't even supposed to be, and God was like, your time up. Let me get you up out of here. I went back into my legal field. So then I went in my legal field, right? I went temporary. My last job was supposed to be temporary. I tell y'all, going to work a job. Let me say this. Praying and asking God for things, and then, or God telling you something, or you told God something and God bringing it back to your remembrance, and you're like, oh yeah, I did pray for that, huh? So I went to another job temporarily, and God had already told me I was going to be there temporary, right? Now all of a sudden I'm making it permanent. Why am I making it permanent? Because they're telling me when I become permanent, I get more money. So how many times have you taken on a position because you feel like you need the money, but it's not something that God wants you to do? So that's what happened with my last job. God was like, you was only supposed to be here temporary. Why are you still here? And that's when, right before the pandemic, he told me to quit my job in 2019 because I was trying to make something that was supposed to be temporary. I wasn't supposed to be making it permanent. It was just supposed to be temporary. And I think 6 months end up turning into, like, when I went there, I was one, get married. I think I've been there almost 3 years. I was there almost 3 years, and it was only supposed to be temporary. And then God said, if you don't get your butt up out there, because God already knew. He already knew. He knew the type of people I was working for. God already know what he wanted me to do, and he called me home. Why we can't work together? Reason 1, insecurity. How many of you have had a leader respond to a genuine question that you have and ask you, how dare you challenge my authority? And it says they're dangerous. Those are the most dangerous type of people to work for, and often not worth following. Insecure leaders usually fail for 2 reasons. They want to maintain control over everything, or they're afraid of being replaced by someone more competent. Has that happened to y'all? Have y'all been in the workplace and you had a manager, supervisor that asked you that question when you just asked a simple question? I can't say I asked a simple question because I guess you could say I was a little rebel back in the day. And I would push, I push the line when I ask questions because I ask questions because I'm the type of person I need to know the answer. So sometimes I need to understand the why before I can get things done sometimes. So I'm going to ask why. And a lot of time my managers don't like me to ask why. They just want me to go do. But the way my brain was working is like, if you don't tell me why you want me to do this, my brain is not clicking. It's like, what? It's like they talking foreign to me. I mean, I used to do that in school too. When I was in college and my teacher gave me a paper to write, and I was like, why am I writing this paper? Why you want me to write this paper? I went to my teacher one day and I was like, I'm having a hard time. I need you to answer this question for me. Why am I writing this paper? And then once he answered that question, I was able to go and write my paper because it was not clicking of why he want me to write this paper. Because it was not clicking at all. I don't know if there's somebody else that's like that you have to understand the why before you can get the work done. But I know with following Christ, he ain't gonna give you that why all the time. He just gonna be like, go do. Go do. It says, dear friend, don't let this bad example influence you. Follow only what is good. Remember that those who do good prove that they are God's children, and those who do evil prove that they do not know God. 3 John 10th and 11th verse. Let God's approval, which you already have, make you secure. So if you're in a situation and you're feeling insecure, know that you already have God's approval. And that in that alone should make you feel secure because God gave you the approval. So when you read your Bible and whatever promises that God has given us in that Bible, just know that those promises will come to pass. And you have access to every promise that he has in there. So we should be walking out in boldness. We shouldn't be insecure about anything because we already got God's approval. I pray that you all were blessed by today's daily devotion. I pray that you all be back here tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for part 2. And I'm going to post the flyer so you all can get your tickets for this Saturday for an event that I am speaking at this weekend. It's a family event. So y'all come on and get your tickets if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area, and come on and support your girl. And I'm going to have some of my books on hand. I'm going to have copies on hand for you all to purchase. So make sure that you all are there. But if you want to purchase, if you're not able to come, just click the link in my bio and you can purchase a copy and I will send you an autographed copy. So I pray you all have an amazing night on purpose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See y'all later. Bye-bye.